Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Misha and today I'm going to be talking about my experience with getting my wisdom teeth removed. Okay, so if I look down or over here anywhere, I have this notebook where I wrote everything that I want to talk about down. I'll try to keep this as short as possible, but while at the same time I want to get into some details. Okay, so here's the backstory. I got my wisdom teeth removed on June 30th, okay, June 30th, 2020, and for those of you who are watching this much later, this is during a global pandemic, so we are, even right now, today is August 31st, 2020, 2 months after getting my wisdom teeth removed, and we are still in a pandemic. So, I want to tell you my experience, why I needed to get or wanted to get my wisdom teeth removed, what it felt like, what I went through, how I prepped for it, and all the experience. And how my video is different today is most of the videos that I found on the internet before I got my teeth removed, because I know why you're here, you're anxious, you want to know more, what does it feel like, what do you do after, how do you prevent complications. Most of the videos I found were people who had gone anesthesia, like general anesthesia, and they were asleep for the whole procedure, and they just talk about what it felt like after. Not me. Okay, sorry for this weird glare in my glasses. I'm gonna look a little bit this way so there's not a glare, okay? So, or I could just move you a bit to this side. Okay, so I didn't get general anesthesia, and I'm going to talk about that later, so let's get started. The first thing is why I went to the dentist in the first place. So I had this pain in my left jaw, which I felt like I might, sorry for the fluctuating light, it's a cloudy day today. I had pain in my left jaw, and that was because I felt like I had a cavity, and I've never had a history with cavities. I have generally pretty good teeth, knock on wood, alhamdulillah. So I have good teeth, and so I felt this pain, right? And sometimes I felt it every single night, but I didn't feel it during the day, not while I'm eating, not while I'm drinking cold things, but at night when I laid down, I felt like a tingling pain. It wasn't so bad that I couldn't bear it, it was just very uncomfortable. And after feeling it for 1, 2, and then 3 weeks in a row, I felt like something was up. I need to get it checked. So I wanted to go to the dentist all the way back in March, but COVID happened, and then most dentists, I was in Vancouver at the time, most dentists closed down, yada yada yada, blah blah blah, so I couldn't go until 2 months later. So when I went to get checked in early to mid-June, I simply wanted to go for 2 reasons. One, there was this pain, and 2, I desperately needed a dental cleaning. And my insurance was about to expire, so I was like, let's claim this, let's get these teeth cleaned, okay? They were kind of weird and gross, marks, tea stains. I drink a lot of tea. Anyway, so that's why I went. So when I went there, the dentist, first of all, there was a dental hygienist, of course. She did my cleaning. We all know, I hope you know what that's like. There's they take, they scrape the gunk off, and they brush your teeth with a special brush and things like that. So I got my dental cleaning done, and then they did a general x-ray of my teeth, okay? And they were like, okay, you don't have cavities, but you say you're in pain, so we're gonna take a look at that, right? So they took the x-ray, and then the dentist looked at it, and he said, oh, you have a dental infection in your wisdom teeth, and under your wisdom tooth, and so you might want to consider getting that taken out. It's not strong enough to make you go on antibiotics, but it's not great, because that infection would then lead to more inflammation. It could even lead to cavities around the wisdom tooth. So I said, yeah, I'm here for it. I've been wanting to get my wisdom teeth taken out, and before my insurance expires, I need to get these teeth taken out. So I had student coverage, right? Yeah. Anyway, so getting sidetracked. So he said, okay, well, we need a 3D x-ray because I feel like, he said, that your teeth are, your wisdom teeth roots are going into some nerves. And to make sure that it's safe to, and how dangerous it is to take your wisdom teeth out, we need to do a 3D x-ray. And I was like, and they're like, you can come back a week later. And I was like, well, can I do it now? And they said, yeah, you can do it now. So, and that 3D x-ray was not covered by my insurance, so I had to pay 150 Canadian dollars, and I got those wisdom teeth taken out. Okay? Oh my goodness, what am I saying? I completely zoned out. So I paid 150 Canadian dollars and I got that 3D x-ray. So I was super anxious, was super nervous. I was like, oh my god, it's like they won't be able to take my wisdom teeth out, like I'll be in pain for the rest of my life. But luckily, he looked at my x-ray, he's like, you are really lucky because the root of your wisdom tooth, on one side it's like pretty far away from the nerve, but on the other side it's like just grazing it, but it's not going through. So I was like, you had said that if it went through, it might cause a permanent numbness in my cheeks and my lower lip. Well, am I gonna have like a half a numb mouth? And he said, luckily no. The chances of a permanent numbness are very low, like very, very low. You might feel numb for a few days, but it's safe to do it. Oh, I cannot even tell you. I was so relieved to hear that. So we could go through. I booked an appointment that day. I'm like, take these teeth out. And I got an appointment to take the teeth out a week after my 3D x-ray and cleaning day. Okay. Okay, so before I went, how I felt getting those teeth taken out. Sorry, I'm gonna talk about that week now. I felt really anxious. I felt really nervous. I basically browsed through all of the wisdom teeth removal videos on YouTube, and pretty much all of them, they got general anesthesia, and I'm like, I'm opting not to get general anesthesia for two reasons. One, it's far more expensive to go into general anesthesia for the teeth, and I'm not getting all 4 teeth removed. Luckily, I don't even have wisdom teeth in my upper jaw. I only had them in my lower jaw. So I was like, it's just 2 teeth. I can do it. So I just decided, let's do it. It's 2 teeth and it's far too expensive to go on in general anesthesia. I'm just gonna get injections. I'm gonna get it taken out. I was extremely nervous, but in the week that I had, I did prep specific like a meal plan because I knew that there would be a lot of swelling because it was like an invasive like kind of jaw surgery. So I prepped some food for myself, which was I made mashed potatoes. I specifically went grocery shopping for my post-surgery like 1 week meal. I made mashed potatoes with some herbs and some garlic powder. I made sweet potato soup, blended sweet potato soup, blended broccoli soup, and blended butternut squash soup. I got cottage cheese. I got protein powder and frozen mangoes, and what I had planned initially was to blitz up the mangoes into a smoothie and add protein powder because I wouldn't be getting protein through meat for like a week, or I had prepped for 2 weeks, like half a month. I wouldn't eat basically any solid foods. I wanted to be as cautious as possible. Other than that, I had eggs. I got eggs for myself. I would make scrambled eggs, and yeah, I think that was, and I got chocolate almond milk, and that was what I had prepped for before my surgery. So I prepped everything, and it was all like, I had prepped it, I cooked it, it was all in containers, labeled. The day before my surgery, it was all prepped and in the fridge. Okay, and I didn't want to prep it too far in advance because I knew that it would be in the fridge for a while, like until I was recovering. So yeah, that was my prep. I was really anxious, and the night before the surgery, the pain was pretty bad. I don't know if it was because of nerves or it was because my teeth were just ready to come out, or the infection, like, I don't know what it was. It was bad, and I was like, I'm ready to get these teeth taken out. They almost felt like a weight in my jaw at this point. And oh, by the way, I'm 24 years old, so the roots of my wisdom teeth were pretty long. So it was, like I said, it was gonna be a pretty like complicated procedure. Okay. Then I arrived at the clinic. Okay. The day of my surgery. It's the day of my surgery. I arrive at the clinic. I'm anxious, I'm nervous. My parents decide to drop me off. Okay, make sure you have somebody to drive you to your dental tooth extraction and drive you back. You're not going to be able to drive back. It's not safe and you're going to be in pain. Okay, don't do that to yourself. Get an Uber or something, get a taxi, but like don't drive yourself back and don't drive yourself there. You're anxious, you're nervous, and post-surgery you might be in pain, you might have like weird numbness, or like, especially if you got general anesthesia, you might be like dizzy. But this video is especially for those of y'all who are not going into general anesthesia, you're getting just the injections. So I had them drop me there, and it was COVID, so they made me wait outside the clinic, and they were like, we're gonna call you on your phone when it's safer and it's safe to come in, when we have because they were doing like, I think, just 2 patients in the clinic at one time. So they called me and I waited, and they were like, are you ready? And I'm like, yeah, I think so. And they're like, did you have anything to eat? And I said, no, I was too nervous. And they're like, no, you made a mistake, like that's not okay. And I'm like, shit, are they gonna cancel my appointment? And no, they didn't. They're like, it's okay, this happens more often than you think generally. So advice number 2 for you guys is please eat or drink something before your wisdom tooth extraction. Not something crunchy or grainy, just like have some juice, have a smoothie, or like have some egg or something. Because the reason being, when you go through that procedure, it's like your adrenaline is shot up, right? It's like your body's being attacked, like it's being cut into your jaws. So after that, when the adrenaline shoots down, when that high comes down, you don't want to have a glucose drop. So eat something, and then yeah, so that was my advice. And then let's see, right, so my experience with that, my experience was that okay, so what it felt like was, okay, another tip I tell you is get some like earphones, not AirPods, because they can like come off, or like not giant headphones, like earphones, wired earphones. So I was listening to podcasts the entire time. I couldn't listen to music because I didn't want to ruin any songs for myself, so I was listening to podcasts, and so that I could focus on those words. So how it started is he put like 3 injections on each side, I think, or 2 injections on each side, and I instantly felt my lower jaw like go numb. I couldn't feel anything. And he said, can you feel this? And I was like, and he said, can you feel this? And I was like, I can't. And then he literally took a sharp like blade, I think, a surgery knife or whatever it's called. I watch Grey's Anatomy, I should know this. And he made like, he poked into the back of my jaw. He's like, hey, did you feel that? And I was like, no, I didn't feel a thing. What are you doing? He's like, okay, you're ready to go. So what they did, I'm gonna not go into too much like gory descriptions. They cut into it, into the back of my jaw, and they made quite a big cut, and they like take a drill and they broke my tooth apart into 2 pieces. So that, and then they have like this small like pointy shovel thing, and they shovel one piece out and then they shovel the other piece out, and so the first tooth, it didn't take that long. I think it took 20 minutes to get out. It was painful. The roots were really deep in, so especially when they like pulled out the first piece, I didn't feel it. He's like, the first piece is out, we just have to get the second piece out with the longer roots. And I'm like, okay. But when they pulled that piece with the roots out, yo, I literally felt like something rip apart from my jaw. I don't want to scare you, it doesn't hurt that bad, but I'd be lying if I say it didn't hurt at all. It did hurt, and it hurt for like, say, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and then it was gone. Suddenly when he took it out, the pain was gone. So I was so glad for it. Then they gave me a 2-minute break so that I could like close my jaw again and like breathe. And then they said, let's go into the second one. The second one, it was it was really stubborn. It took like 40 minutes to get that one out. It was the same procedure, but it just wouldn't come out. The roots were so freaking deep in, it wouldn't come out. And it was the same procedure. When they pulled it out, when they pulled the root piece out, oh man, I literally heard a ripping sound. Oh, and one more thing. By the time they got to my second side, like the other side, the numbness had worn off. And when he went in with the blade, I said, ow, that hurt. He's like, okay. And the nurse said, maybe the anesthetic wore off. So they put in another injection, they poked it again. I said, I feel the pain, ow. And they put in 3 more injections. So I think I got like 5 or 6 anesthetic injections on this side. When you get the actual injection, it doesn't hurt that bad. It doesn't. It's just like tiny prick. Like if you pinch yourself really quickly, it's like that kind of pain. It's not hard. Okay, so we are done with this surgery. Post-surgery, really short and quick. This entire lip, numb. I couldn't even move it. When the surgery was done, I was so ecstatic. I was so relieved. And the nurse said, yeah, you're done. And then I went out to pay for whatever portion was not covered by insurance. And I couldn't talk. I literally wrote messages on my phone. I showed it to the receptionist. I was like, this and that. And I immediately had to go to the bathroom after my surgery. Okay. Then, what happened then? So, I think the door of my bedroom is open. Can I go quickly close it? Okay, I'll be right back. Sorry. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So, I immediately had to go to the bathroom. After I went to the bathroom, I paid. I like signaled to the receptionist, like I wrote messages on my phone, I paid, and my parents were outside waiting for me, and I couldn't move my lower jaw. I was like, like that. Like I couldn't talk at all. I didn't feel anything here. I touched here. I couldn't feel anything, and I couldn't move this entire lower jaw. Okay, but I was not in pain. I was not in pain immediately after. The surgery ended, I think, at 3 p.m. Or at least I got out of the clinic at 3 p.m., right? I got home. The clinic's like 12 minute drive away from our house. I laid down and I had to change my gauze. So what they do after the surgery is they stuff like this gauze between your teeth, and they ask you to bite down gently. So I could tell that the gauze was just completely like, okay, sorry, like trigger warning. It was like soaked, right? So it's obviously gonna be soaked with blood. So and like spit, like it's soaked. So I had to change it. I came home and changed the gauze. I couldn't move my lower jaw, so it's really hard to do that because I'm like trying to like fish it out of my mouth without being able to move my jaw, and it hurt. It started to hurt to move my jaw. I could tell that this is when the pain starts. And yeah, so sorry, I'm smiling now, but it was atrocious back then. I was drooling because I couldn't control my jaw. I was literally drooling. I just got a call. Sorry, I can't take that call right now. Yeah, the night of the surgery. So the pain started. That day the pain started, like 2 hours after the end of my surgery, the pain started, and oh my god. When they tell you it's bad, they are not kidding. I had never felt pain like that in my entire life. Oh, okay. Another tip I have for you. I like how this video is suddenly full of tips. Another tip I have for you. If you're getting a surgery that's like even mildly complicated, like mine was pretty complicated because the roots of my teeth were so deep, ask the dentist to write you a prescription for prescription pain medication. I could not have survived that week if I hadn't specifically asked the dentist to give me prescription pain meds, because when I got that 3D x-ray, like my day 1, and I booked my appointment, they said, oh, are you gonna do general anesthetic or are you gonna go under? I said, oh, I'm gonna do I'm gonna do anesthetic injections, and they said, okay, well, we'll just like Tylenol would work. But I talked to a bunch of family members and they said, no, have them write you the prescription, and that was like really good advice. So if you take one thing away from this video, have them write you the prescription pain meds, but only enough to last you that 1 week, okay? You don't want to get hooked onto those things. They're strong stuff. So I'm so glad. I ate the first one. It was really hard to eat that medicine. It wasn't big, but I couldn't move my jaw, remember? So 2 hours after my surgery, I ate the first pill. Another tip I have for you, don't be like me, don't wait 2 hours. Immediately after the surgery, have one of those pills, because you don't want to wait for the pain to kick in and then take the medication. You want to beat that pain before it kicks in. So take the medicine first. The pain started. 2 to 3 days after the surgery, what happens is the swelling kept, like, my jaw kept swelling. I can insert pictures here at this point, I guess, and I'll show you. I'll put them in sequence, and my jaw just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and the pain was so bad. Like, if I took the medicine for the hour that it kicked in, the prescription pain med, it was fine. I could sleep, I could take a nap or whatever, but when the meds were off, even for like an hour, the pain was excruciating. I remember at one point, I have a pretty high pain tolerance, but I remember this one evening, I think it was the second or third evening after the surgery, I was in so much pain, despite having taken those prescription meds. The tears were streaming down my face. It wasn't that I was crying, like I wasn't even just sad, it was just so much pain that like tears just kept coming down from my eyes, and I was just like, please make it stop. It was really hard to eat anything after the surgery. I could barely open my mouth, so it was really hard to eat. 2 more tips I have for you. Number 1, do not use a straw. A straw will give you a dry socket. Do not use a straw. It might be tempting because you can't move your lips much and you don't want to move your jaw because it hurts. Don't use a straw. Drink like this, drink with a spoon. Don't use a straw. Do not use a straw. That will also be in the instructions that your dentist gives you, but do not use a straw. The second tip I have for you, use a plastic or a very soft spoon, or like silicone spoon. Don't use metal. I didn't use metal because for some reason it hurt to eat with a metal spoon. I guess it wasn't malleable enough, it wasn't flexible enough, so I ate with the same plastic spoon. I kept washing it the entire week. I'm against using plastic, but honey, this was for a medical reason. So I told you about my diet, my precautions. Oh yeah, oral hygiene. Don't brush your teeth the first 3... Actually, yeah, don't brush your... I didn't brush my teeth the entire first week. The first 3 or 4 days, I didn't even gargle, because you can't make this movement. You have to keep this area as still as possible. I wasn't talking. I had a notepad and a pen. I didn't gargle, I didn't talk, I didn't chew. Soft foods, soups, and I got sick of eating the soups I made in like 2 to 3 days. Then I had my mom make me really, really, really buttery, soft, like almost liquidy scrambled eggs. It was so grateful to have that. And I couldn't even chew cottage cheese. That's how much pain I was. I blended up the cottage cheese and ate it. Can you imagine like having like runny scrambled eggs and runny cottage cheese? But honestly, and then I had apple juice, but like with a glass, no straw. And I think that was my favorite breakfast. I didn't really particularly enjoy the protein powder smoothies, but it's fine. That's just personal preference. Anyway, try not to chew, don't talk, no straw. Those are the main things. Oral hygiene, yeah, I was on oral hygiene. So I didn't gargle. It's not ideal, but I knew I couldn't do it. I used mouthwash after the 4th day. After the 2nd day I started using mouthwash. But I didn't gargle like this at all for like 10 days. What I used to do, take a sip, right, of the mouthwash, and just move your head. Like this, and then let it fall out of your mouth, okay? Don't spit it out. Don't go. Don't do that, because that takes force. You don't realize it moves those muscles. So don't move these. Like, just be like, don't move your jaw. My state of mind for the first 4 or 5 days, I was just like, I wanted to get out of bed so bad, because I was bedridden. I was in so much pain. I couldn't physically get out of bed. Also, the pain meds, they make you dizzy, and they really slowed down my heartbeat. So don't overdo the pain meds, the prescription pain meds. Honestly, they're kind of dangerous. They're pretty dangerous. Be very cautious when taking those. Follow the directions on the bottle. Yeah, so I couldn't get out of bed much. I just lay there, didn't even want to watch anything. I was pretty like down and under. I just wanted to see the sky, see like a tree or a plant or an animal or anything. I was just alone in my room watching, like, how much YouTube and movies can you watch, right? And I didn't even want to watch anything. I just wanted to like lie like this. After the first 4 to 5 days, I was sick of it, so I went down to the deck of our house and I just laid on the floor on the deck, obviously on a cloth, right? And I was like, I just need to see the sky. And just seeing the sky after 5 days was I was so grateful for it. I was so happy because, yo, being in your room, like, in so much pain and, like, alone and, like, sweaty, and I didn't shower for 5 days. Oh, this is real talk. Because, like, I didn't trust myself to go stand in the shower for even, like, 15 minutes because the pain meds, they make you dizzy. Yeah. So dry shampoo. Now it's like 2 months later, yo. Now I'm completely fine. Like the dentist said, thankfully I didn't have any numbness. I can open and move my jaw, like, completely. I can talk, and I am so grateful that I got my wisdom teeth taken out, because the longer I had kept them in, the more risk there would be for continued infection and cavities. Final advice to you. During the surgery, sorry, I'm on the floor right now. Like, follow all the tips I gave along the way. Do not use a straw. If your surgery is even mildly complicated, get those prescription pain meds. Wow, this video is way too long, even though I was talking so fast. But like I said, I wanted to go into details. If I can give you 3 pieces of advice for those of you who are not getting general anesthesia and doing local injections. 1, the pain is temporary. Although the pain is temporary, so you will get through it. And I know you're anxious now, and I know you don't know how it'll feel like, but it's temporary pain. It doesn't last forever. The most it's gonna last, it's 2 weeks. I expected to be in pain for 2 weeks. It was just 10 days. And 3 or 4 days of like really bad pain, and it can be managed with medicine. So do that. Don't worry about the pain. It's temporary. Follow all the tips I gave you. Number 2, I would tell you to meal prep something for your post-surgery healing, right? Because you don't want to move your jaw, don't eat solid foods. The more precaution you can take, the less chance you have of getting dry socket. And I'm not going to explain what that is. It's basically like it's bad to get dry socket, right? There's loads of videos about it on YouTube. So the less you move your mouth, don't use a straw, and meal prep really soft foods. And the third thing is, if you're thinking about getting wisdom tooth surgery, go with the advice of your dentist, but also honestly just do it, because like it's literally the most frequent surgery. I think I heard that somewhere in the world, and millions and millions of people do it every year, and you're not alone. And I'm honestly, I kid you not, it's going to be okay. Okay, just do it. Just schedule it. Be brave. Prep what you need to. Prep your room the way you would be most comfortable, okay? Prep your food. Prepare for it. Mentally relax, and just like, it's temporary. Just do it. Schedule that appointment, and trust me, you will heal if you take the right precautions. Okay, so that is my video for you all. I hope you enjoyed that. If you stuck to all the way to this point, like, I hope I could help you. I hope that you have a really good surgery and you're healthy afterwards, and you continue to stay healthy forever, hopefully. And I wish you the best of luck. If you enjoyed that video, give it a thumbs up. Please don't be mean in the comments. I'm not going to respond to you if you are mean. Please be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I wish you the best of luck. Be brave, and if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, because there will be more like it, or other kinds of helpful videos in the future. And yeah, I would love to see you again. Take care, best of luck. Talk to you later.